Hi friends, it's Peggy Noe from prettypapercards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make a card, a thank you card, using the Ornate Garden Suite from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to use some of the pieces of the Ornate Garden Suite to show you exactly what you can create. So let's get started. This is the sample card. I'm going to make mine a little bit different today, but this is the sample we're going to pattern ours after. And I wanted you to see that first. We're going to use one of the dies from the Ornate Garden Suite. It's called it's one of the Ornate Layers dies. And I really like this one because it fits inside of a standard card. This is a standard Whisper White card base cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. And then this fits in just this little frame here fits in so beautifully. So we're going to use that today. So let's get started. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is that it's getting toward the end of the Stampin' Up! Catalog year, which ends on actually June 3rd this year. And you may or not know that we have in colors and they stay for 2 years. We have standard colors lines that are there all the time, but we have 5 colors that come in new every year and they last for 2 years. And then the next year we'll have another set of in colors that will last for 2 years and one drops off. So these are the colors that are going to be retiring. And I wanted to show them to you because for one thing, they're beautiful and the supplies run out very early. And so you've got a little over a month, but I have a feeling a lot of the supplies in these colors are going to run out. Now this is the cardstock in the 2018-2020 in colors. We also have in color markers, in color ink, in color ribbons, and other accessories. So if you pop onto my 24/7 online store, and the link is on this video, down below this video, you can see it talks about the retiring in colors, and I just want to give you that heads up because I don't want you to be sad that you miss getting any of these colors if you like them. So that is why today I'm going to use this, which has been my favorite of these in colors. It's called Lovely Lipstick. It's a red, it's a pink red, a very pinky red, and that's what we're going to use today to create our card. Now, I went ahead and die cut my frame here before we started. I'll show you, I'll tell you how to do it with your Big Shot or other die cutting machine. It's good to run it through back and forth about 3 times, forward, back, and forward. The reason being that it will, for me, I found that it cut all these little tiny dots and everything very well. And then I used a die brush to get all the dots out. And I even see that I even missed some because there are a lot of tiny dots. So just a forewarning, I have some little dots all around in my craft room, but I don't mind. I love this color. So this is the frame we're going to use, and it's from the Ornate Layers dies. And this is a beautiful set of dies. I just love them. So let's get started. We're going to start with our card base, and I told you the size of the card base, and I'm going to fold it on the 4.5 inch score line, just like this, and press down with my bone folder to burnish the edge so that I know it's nice and flat for me. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I have a 1/4 inch smaller piece of Whisper White cardstock that goes on next, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp on this piece with one of the stamps. I'm using 2 stamps today in the suite. One is called the Ornate Style stamp, and this is the stamp I'm going to use today to give us a little background. So let's get out our lovely, beautiful, lovely lipstick ink. And when you use a large stamp like this, usually it's good to turn it upside down and ink it this way. Now you can get two different kinds of looks from any stamp, and at least two, and one is full ink and stamped off ink. And so we could stamp off if we wanted to. I don't think I'm going to for this. I'm going to let it be nice and bright, but you could to get a softer look. And so what I'm doing is I'm just getting these beautiful flowers in every corner of my piece of cardstock. So we're going to stamp basically 4 times. And I just love this grouping of flowers. Aren't they pretty? And so we're just going to stamp in each corner, remembering that we're going to have our frame on top. So we don't need to really worry as much about the center. This is just going to give us a nice background. Let's see. Okay, so we just have that little part to go. Isn't this lovely lipstick a beautiful color? I just love it. And let's see if we can get kind of in there. Okay, and if we want to, we can go put a little more ink and go back in like that. That just gives a little, fills in that little spot there. Okay, so we're done with our background piece. And now we're ready to glue that onto our card base with the trusty multi-purpose glue. And if you watch very many of my videos, you know I use this cute little pink nail polish holder to keep my glue, my multi-purpose glue, upside down so it's ready to use right when I need it. So we're just going to put some glue on there and center this on our card base. Let me get it up there so you can see it. Okay. And we just hold it in place just a second and press. Alrighty. Now our next thing we're going to build up is our frame. And this is how it's going to look. It's going to set right on there like that. And what we're going to do, I need to find my little pieces. So this is one of the pieces. This is a piece of the Designer Series paper, the Ornate Garden Designer Series paper. And it's cut at 3.5 by 2 1/8. I'm pretty sure, and I will confirm those measurements and put them underneath this video for you so you can look there. And this is a gold foil piece of basically the same pattern that we stamped. And so I'm going to glue that on. And I thought when I created it, I thought, gosh, that gold is just a little bit bright. And so I wanted to tone it down just a little bit. So I cut a piece of vellum exactly the same dimensions. And I'm going to put that on. Now, you know we're going to have a sentiment across the middle. And sometimes vellum shows the glue or the adhesive underneath. So I'm going to put my glue across the center. And then I'm going to glue a couple of other little places where I don't think it would show too much. And truthfully, by the time it completely dries, you won't even see any of the glue. You didn't see any of it on my other piece, did you? That's one reason I like to use the multi-purpose glue. And so we're just going to set that right on top of our gold foil piece. And doesn't that soften it kind of nicely? I think that looks really pretty. Okay, now that's ready to put on our card base. And we're going to do this with Stampin' Dimensionals because we want to lift it up a little bit off the base. It gives a really nice look. So I don't know if, I know sometimes I take things out of the camera and I don't want to do that for you. So we're going to put on 5 little dimensionals here and peel off their little backs. I love this frame. Isn't that beautiful? It's so pretty. I mean, I've never even seen one like it. I just love it. So we're going to put this on, and we're going to center it, try to center it right in our card, on our card front. Same distance from the left and the right and the top and the bottom. Okay, there we go. Now you can see a little bit of the glue, but I promise you that will dry. Now we're ready to stamp our sentiment. Now the other stamp set in the suite is the Ornate Thanks stamp set. And this one, the first one, the Ornate Style, was a rubber stamp. This one is a photopolymer stamp set. And it has these great sentiments, large, and then smaller ones that you could put either on the outside or on the inside. Today I'm going to use So Grateful. And on the inside, if I wanted to, I could put my friend, so grateful from the bottom of my heart, so grateful for everything. It's a really nice combination of sentiments, of thank you sentiments. So we're going to stamp the So Grateful on a 1/2-inch strip of Whisper White cardstock. And here's our stamp. And let's get our ink out. Go back to our lovely lipstick. Now I've got a long piece of cardstock in case I make a mistake, because we all do, and I make plenty of them. But the one thing I like about using the 1/2-inch strip and the photopolymer is that we can hold it over and we can really line it up well. So I'm going to get my ink on my stamp there. I want to make sure I have plenty of ink, and you know that I'm stamping on a Stampin' Pierce mat, because when we use the photopolymer stamp, we need a little extra cushion, right? So let's put it right in here. I'm lining it up with the bottom, and we'll see how that turns out. That's not too bad. I think it's pretty good. And I think it's much easier to line up when you use a real thin piece of paper like that. Then you don't have to go back and cut, because sometimes I make a mistake when I'm cutting, if I'm cutting the top and bottom. You know what I mean. Okay, so now we're going to look at our card, and I want this to come across the card just like that. Ooh, I just love this in the lovely lipstick. I loved it in the other one, that was Granny Apple Green, but I love this. This is beautiful. Now what I do, I like to use my tailored tag punch to what they call flag the ends of my sentiments, because it does it better than I could cut them. And I kind of want my sentiment to be flagged out in this area, right out about there. So I'm going to put my finger on that, and I'm looking, and I'm about a 1/2 inch back there. So I'm going to line up the center of this with the center of my tailored tag punch right there, and we'll see if we can get it looking right. Yeah, that's a little bit off. So the nice thing is you can go back in. I don't know if you can see well enough, but you can always go back in and redo it, and that's not too bad. So let's see if my sentiment is centered. I still think I need to go in a little. Okay, that's better. Now we're going to do the same thing on this side, and I want to come in about right there, about the same distance down. You know, it's kind of just a trial and error. You just try it and see how it turns out. So let's see how that turned out. This end is a little bit longer, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. And I think you can notice I do like to get things right. I mean, who doesn't? Okay, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, great. Now we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of this. I'm only going to put 3, one in the center and one on each end to lift this up also. And we're going to put this right over the strip of glue that I put down the center of the vellum, because we want to make sure to cover that up. And I'm just going to do like this with the paper because it can get a little, when you're holding it and working with it and putting on the dimensionals, it can get a little crooked. So I'm going to line that up right over, right in the center and right over my glue strip. And that looks pretty good, doesn't it? I love that. And now for a finish, we're going to add some gilded gems. Oh my goodness, these are so pretty. These are also part of the Ornate Garden Suite. And so you can see, really, you can see a little glue there and a little glue here. So this will just take your mind off it completely. If I put some little gilded gems up there, you won't even see that glue. You'll just see the pretty gems. And then we'll put one down here. And you've got 3 sizes here, I think. It's a small, medium, and large. And there we go. Isn't that just an adorable card? Now, I thought I brought an envelope, but I guess maybe I didn't. But I do want to show you, I like to stamp my envelope, and for the sample card, I stamped right in here with another one of the stamps. It's this one from the Ornate Style set. And I also stamped it on the inside of my card, so I'm going to do that with this one we've been working on. So I'm just going to stamp this in a little lovely lipstick ink and put it here on the corner. And then I'll do that on an envelope before I send it out to anybody. Isn't that just such a pretty card? This is a beautiful set, and it's a beautiful set for spring. The Ornate Garden Suite, and you can buy all the different pieces separately, whatever parts you want, but I've shown you quite a few pieces from it. This is a set that was released early. It's going to be in our new annual catalog coming out June 3rd, but they released it early. And you can get it, let's see, we're still in April. I don't know if you can get it till May. I might have forgotten though. You might be able to get it now. I'll put that on the video too. I was so excited about the card, I forgot to get that information for you, but I'm pretty sure you can get it right now. And it is just beautiful. You're gonna love it. And don't forget about the in colors that are retiring. Order those now. I'm serious. If you like the lovely lipstick, order the paper and the ink and the ribbon now before it retires or is sold out, because they will not make any more of it. So thank you so much for stopping by today. Please, if you like my channel, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see every video that I do. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.